My name is Mando,
My name is Papo.
And my name is Baki.
and welcome to another episode. Before we start this episode, we'd like to say that we appreciate the support. It would also, if you want to help us, it would also be great if you could follow us on our social media and follow our podcast on any platform you're listening to us on. That being said, you could also leave a rate and a review wherever you're listening to us on. We'll have a link in the description with our social media. And yeah. So, how's everybody doing?
I'm good. Just, feel like I said earlier, I feel like I've been eating so much candy and just been feeling a little weird, but other than that, I feel good.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good week.
How about you, Papo?
Went to Hinsdale House
Yeah.
up in New York.
Yeah.
Got some wild ass, evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, we both went there.
How was that?
It was intense. It was intense. I was not how can I say? I wasn't expecting for it to be as intense because we've been to the Conjuring House, we've been to the Conjuring House, Waverly
Bobby
Hills,
Mackey's.
Bobby
Before
Mackey's.
it got destroyed. Well, demolished.
Yeah. We were like one of the last tours at Bobby Mackey's. And we didn't really get much stuff at Bobby Mackey's. I saw a shadow in like the dance room as Papa was walking into it. He was like, "Come with me now," and I like flashed the light. And as I was flashing the light, I saw this like really darker than dark shadow cross by. And the thing is, like, my flashlight didn't go through the shadow. So I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not gonna go with you." And Papa didn't even fucking realize that had happened.
No, let's be honest. I didn't really care.
Yeah, he's kind of fucking weird when it comes to that shit. Like he'll walk in through the dark and shit and not care. And so, like, Waverly Hills was a great experience.
Huge place, dude.
Huge.
Where is that?
Where
was it?
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky. That was in Kentucky.
When did you guys go?
Like, I think June.
Was it June?
Yeah. It was whenever the UFC was there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went. The only reason we went was because Bobby Mackey's was going to get demolished that month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we wanted to be like one of the last people.
So we got to see Bobby Mackey's. It's like on there's like you can look it up. It's on a BuzzFeed episode, with like Ryan Bergara and the other dude. Like you got quite a few like famous investigators went to Bobby Mackey's, so we wanted to send it.
No, why is it famous though?
Because it's haunted and it's like older than old. It's a bar, and it's old as fuck. The history in that bar is ridiculous. Like, I have a picture of the safe, and that safe was like gifted to the owner of that spot in like the early 1900s. Like, it was like 1920 or some shit like that.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, it was like the owners were from the mob. So it's said that a lot of people were killed in there.
Yeah, there was like there's one area. I guess you could say the basement part of it.
Yeah.
And you can still see like I guess it was like dried up blood and shit.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly it was like dried up blood. And then like there was this one wall. People say they like see faces on it. And we were there for a good minute doing I guess a session, you could say.
Yeah. There's like a dressing room in the basement also. And when the lady mentioned, I had like this EMF reader, and when the lady mentioned the girls' names, it just spiked all the way to red.
Oh, shit.
As soon as she mentioned her names. spiked to red. Bah, bah. And I was like, holy fuck. But that was like about it, like the shadow, the EMF. And that was about it. Like we took pictures, and then we had a malfunction with our Polaroid. But besides that, it wasn't really much. It's just a weird vibe that you get. Waverly Hills.
That one, the place was big. It was huge, right?
Yeah.
So like when we went, there was like a shit ton of people with us too. Like a shit. It was a huge ass fucking group. So like at one point in the tour, I was just like, I kind of just was like, I'm gonna go off on my own.
Yeah.
So I went off on my own, and the hallway kept going, right, and there was a room, so I just dipped into the room, and on the other side it like connected back into the hallway, right. So I just walked around, and I didn't know that the same hallway that I came out of connected back together. I thought it kept going straight, right. So when I went in there and came out, I ended up scaring the tour guide, and she was like, Jesus Christ, I thought somebody was walking. And I was like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Now, when they do the tour and stuff, is it during the day or nighttime?
It's at night.
It's at night.
Yeah. We spent the whole night at
the Waverly.
At Waverly. We did only a few hours at Bobby Mackey's.
It was like 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it was like 2-3 hours. No, it was like 4. It was 4. It was a 4-hour investigation. Because we were there like at like 7. No, it was like 2-3 hours. Some shit like
2
that.
hours or some shit like that.
But yeah,
It was more just getting the history of the place
Mhm.
than it was investigating. But
because it was just too much of a liability.
yeah,
At
like
that point,
the
this
place was like
falling
really
apart.
falling apart.
Oh, I see.
Like I think like when we went to the basement, they told us like somebody tried climbing over like one of these fences, like because it was a room, but like half the room was just fucking like it like crumbled in, right? And like somebody had ended up going in there, and they were just like, yeah, no, we're not doing all this. So the investigation part of it was kind of out the window.
Oh, I see.
So like with the tour guide, you do like a somewhat session with them, like an investigation. But
Now, do you guys think that that's like real spirits and stuff?
No, I mean, like a lot of people want to say it's like people. It could be like human spirits.
No, what I mean, because there's so much people going there, and the place is so famous. Though,
Yeah,
it makes you think that maybe they create some type of
that's that
technology and
so,
stuff.
No, I feel as though we carry energy. So like, in a way, like after so much attention, that energy eventually manifests. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
In certain spots, like for example, Waverly is a hospital. So a lot of people died because of tuberculosis. What the fuck? But
tuberculosis.
yeah, tuberculosis. So a lot of people died from that shit and would go insane from tuberculosis.
They were getting, like doctors would do experiments on them.
Yeah, and
they would just do like brutal ass shit to the patients.
Yeah, and like some
like
patients,
borderline torture.
Yeah.
The patients.
So the tuberculosis eventually like eats away at your brain. Eventually, so you end up being insane. So I mean, like places like that, it's a possibility. And a woman also killed herself in there. They were just never able to prove that the doctor killed her, but she hung herself supposedly. So it's like some places, it's probably not the people.
Yeah,
but it's like it can be a demon. Where I'm not nobody to know, but I'm 100%, like 95% sure that sometimes it could be residual from like a harsh memory, or it could be a demon.
Probably. I mean, you said, just like you said, that people just mentioned it so much that
manifest.
So,
but when we were at the Waverly place, we went to the morgue, right? And they said that there was a little boy that always hangs around there. Which is, now thinking about it, it's kind of fucking crazy. A little boy just hanging out in the morgue.
Yeah.
But
it's like a real kid?
No. Like a spirit kid.
Like a spirit kid, supposedly.
And we went in there, right? And we had these little cat balls, right? And we placed them around the room. And we placed one of them in one of the slots where you keep the bodies from decomposing. And the thing, we started, asking questions and stuff. And then the ball just lights up. It starts lighting up on its own. And mind you, like for these balls to light up, they have to either get touched or like moved in some way, shape, or form. But we weren't doing none of it, right? It was just lighting up. But then, like I said, there was a big ass group, so people were walking around. And while we were doing our things, this group of girls walk in, right? And they're like, "Oh my God, look, look, look." And supposedly the tour guide said that the kid is shy, so he'll only talk to a few people. And he decided to talk to us, but when that group came in, I guess it scared him off, because after that, we just weren't getting anything at all.
Yeah, so we had this REM pod that we got from Etsy. A REM pod supposedly detects energy around it, so it'll beep, like really loud. And that went off, and then the cat ball moved, and that's what, like, as that happened, that group came and it just stopped. It didn't happen again, and it was probably like the first time that the REM pod went off, and then we had the second time that it went off that we did the Estes method, and during that Estes method, we did it where the nurse had allegedly hung herself, and the REM pod went off there. But as soon as I turned on the camera, and when I turned on the camera, the flash turned on, and it just stopped going off. But I had to turn on the camera. Like, I turned on the camera on my phone without the flash and just did questions. It told me that there was a little boy, and it told me the age and all this, that, and the third. But then it started sounding like real, like evil. And I didn't like it because it eventually said growl. And I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, this is not right, you know? And like in the Bible, it says that, God says that the kids don't have to be baptized or anything. They just go straight to God. It doesn't exist that a kid will stay in limbo, is basically what I'm trying to say. That the kids are for God. So in theory, what a demon will do is like portray itself as a kid to like attract people to the thing and like invite it. So like when it comes to like it being kids, I get like really like iffy about it because it's just no fucking way.
I mean, yeah, because spirits, they can take any shape or form just to.
Yeah.
Just like the Bible says, just like the Bible says that angels can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was a moment where we did an Estes method. And for those of you that don't know what that is, you're blindfolded, and while you're blindfolded, you have these headphones on full blast, right? Listening to a spirit box. What that does, it goes through a bunch of channels. The radio, it goes through channels on the radio, right, at a high rate, and the spirit is supposedly communicating through that, right? You'll hear words here and there, right? And while you're blindfolded and have the headphones on, someone else asks questions, and that's how you're communicating. And we did 2 people at the same time. Mm-hmm. It was me and another like trio that was there. One of their group fucking decided to do it with us too. And I think that was probably like the first time we really got maybe something,
Yeah.
But
that was the first time we've ever seen anything like outside of like an accidental encounter.
Yeah.
So that was actually like our first time actually looking for an encounter.
Yeah. But the Hinsdale one, what compared to that was a different level.
Yeah, dude. That shit is demonic. Like, the lady was like, it's not demonic.
Yeah, the lady from the Hinsdale House was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I've been here for 2 days. Everything's good.
Yeah.
No activity. People say that there's demonic entity here and this and that. There was a bunch of flies in the house, and she was like, yeah, people tend to think that just because there's a bunch of flies here, there's demons here and this and that. But I mean, everything is pretty much cool. She was like, I'm not too sure if it's because I'm used to it. Because she says that in her place, her own like house and everything, she gets activity there too.
She's like,
So
yeah.
she's like, I'm not sure if it's just because I'm used to it or I just don't see anything anymore. But, you know, the 2 days that we've been here, that I've been here, that everything's been calm, there's been no activity. So she's like, you can be calm, don't get scared, you know. And we went there early because she was like, yeah, I'm here. You can come early if you want. We ended up getting there at like 5 and we were supposed to like be there at 7. But I mean, we took the chance and everything to go there early. We ended up leaving at like 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
After we were supposed to stay the night.
Yeah, it was how can I say, I could see stuff in the mirror. Like shadows moving through the mirror. So like the mirror was basically facing towards my side, right? But so in essence, what I was seeing in the mirror would have been next to me, right? And I was seeing shadows just cross really quick. There was a point in time where they have like, right, the mirror's like this, right? And then under there's like 4 or 5 dolls set up on the table. And I saw that like somebody like pressed the arm on the doll, lifted it and dropped it. It was like this. Just, you could see the handprint form on the doll's arm and it moved and it dropped. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, holy fuck. And I got goosebumps. And like I could kept on seeing stuff through the mirror. And like I would look back and there was nothing. There was you could hear like somebody was talking. Like there was, I don't know, music outside. And you would go outside, it was just silence. And
Yeah,
it was crazy. We read through everything until like afterwards, and we were just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And like there was this point in time where we so when we first got there, we tried the Estes in the living room. Didn't fucking get anything.
Yeah.
Then we chilled out.
We were playing
checkers
and blackjack just to pass the time because it was kind of early. Like we were trying to do everything at like I think like 6 or 7 or something.
We were trying
like
to
that.
start at like 8.
Yeah,
and
then
because it didn't work at like 6.
Yeah,
so.
we had tried to do everything at like 6 or 7, but we started playing games just to pass the time a little bit, and we decided that we would start at like 8. So then this is around the time you were seeing all that stuff, right? The whole shadows in the mirror thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I guess when 8 hit around, we went to the 2nd floor and set up everything to do an Estes method. And yeah,
it popped off, dude.
It was
popped off.
Like being there, like the video that we took, right? It doesn't sound like any of us were like really reacting, right? Because nobody was saying anything besides me who was asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
But like the room itself being there felt excessively heavy.
Yeah, it got heavy.
That atmosphere felt excessively heavy. Like you felt like there was a pressure on you. Like, and don't get me wrong, like Mando and I have had many experiences as kids and everything, but like we weren't looking for stuff, right? It's just out of chance it happened to us, right? And we've always felt like a heavy at least me personally, I have always felt like a heavy presence, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this one was completely different. To me, at least, it was completely different. You know, and like we should play like like portions of the clip, right?
I want to play the native chant that we got.
No,
Yeah.
What were we gonna do?
no. Why is that place? I guess haunted or like what happened in that house?
So supposedly at some point in time there was a set of brothers, and basically they'd like get travelers to come and stay with them, and they would kill them. So they were supposedly serial killers.
Yeah.
And also that was a Native American burial ground at some point. So that's why there's a lot of things that happen, and eventually they did a structural blessing or exorcism, they would call it, and it just never got better. And there was a sister.
Well, supposedly it got better, right? For a time, a very, very short time, and then everything just got worse after that.
Yeah. So the thing is, they say that one of the sisters that used to live there, when she got older, she eventually killed herself, and they claim that the depression that she got it from that house. So there's just a lot of like, let's say it's like, okay, so we got the Native American burial ground, then we have murderers that used to live there, and then
and a suicide,
and then the suicide, and I think at some point it was cursed, some shit like that.
And mind you, like the other siblings, like, well, two of the sisters are still alive, and the brother passed away like a few years ago.
Yeah. So at the beginning, what we did is we went to the offering tree, because there's an offering tree in the back, in the woods. So you walk up to the offering tree and you just give out like a pinch of tobacco or something, just to say, hey, we don't want no problems. So when I got there, I gave a pinch of tobacco and I said, may God be with us. And I put it, and that was it. I left my phone recording on the gimbal, and I didn't catch this till like much later.
Yeah, like we didn't review like any of the footage until we left.
I haven't even reviewed a lot of it, so I still have a lot of footage. Didn't get a chance because I came back today, not so long ago. But this is what I got, and I don't know. I hope that you could hear it. I really do, because it's crazy to me. Give me a second. Let's see if this works. If I get it right. All right. Hopefully you could hear it good here. Can you hear it? Like,
Yeah. And mind you, none of us were, like we said, we were in the offering tree. The offering tree wasn't close to the house or anything.
Yeah.
And it's not like we were screaming. It was dark outside. Like we weren't screaming or anything. Because, one, we didn't want to attract anything. Like there's fucking bobcats there. There's fucking bears. There's a whole bunch of animals there. So like we were trying to be as quiet as possible.
Yeah.
You know? And just to be able to hear if anything was like, coming up towards us or anything, right? And so we went, we were taking our time looking around a little bit. So, I mean, that original video is like, what, 8 minutes? 10 minutes?
No, it's 13, I think.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
see.
like, we were
it's
gone.
13 minutes.
We were gone for a good minute. And when that happens, it was at like the 8:40, 8:50 mark of the video.
Yeah. throughout the video, you can hear light footsteps, movement in the house. That beeping that you can hear in the video is like the REM pod, and that like detects like fluctuations of energy around it. And we have that like at the steps. I'll post a video, but yeah, it was that. That was one of the situations. I haven't gone through like a lot of this footage, but yeah, dude, it was pretty intense. But like I said, unfortunately, like a few members of the group was just not ready to experience that much.
Yeah.
One we kind of just threw in the deep end first time.
Yeah, but
ever doing something like that.
Yeah.
Ever experiencing anything paranormal.
Yeah.
But no, like I didn't even tell y'all, like in the beginning, like when we were taking the tour, we went to the basement part, and the tour guide was explaining everything there. And as everybody was going up, I was one of the last people to go up, and all I see is like a little like ball of smoke, I guess you could say, or like dust. I don't know what it was, right? But I'm looking at it, right, as everybody's going upstairs, and it's just standing. It's just right there by the stairs and everything, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? And the tour guide heard me, right, but didn't say anything until I got upstairs, right? And she was like, yeah, I heard you say something. Yeah, a lot of people have seen that too. And so I wanted to go debunk it. So as we were like setting up everything, I went to take a cat ball down there and like leave it on the chair. And when I was down there, I was over here like stomping on the step to see if like I could like produce like dust or something. And I couldn't. So I like try to stomp on the ground a little bit, see if I could like, lift up some dust. Nothing. So I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then as I left it at that, right? Like I couldn't really understand what it was, right? But also while we were doing the tour, we had gone to the second floor to the master bedroom, right? And I was in one of the corners by the window, or like when we first walked in, and I felt fine and everything. It wasn't until I got to closer to the other room that I started getting this massive headache, sharp headache, to a point where like I almost felt nauseous. And that was Mary's room, right? Mm-hmm. And that was supposedly sealed off.
Yeah, that was sealed off at a certain point because they said that that's where the negative energy was coming out, because that's where the flies would collect up. Yeah. So like it would get full of flies.
So,
and I'm telling you, it's like right now it's cold as fuck up there, like super cold. It was snowing and everything, and it was just fucking full of flies.
Yeah, and so like I got a massive headache there. And and like two people in our group was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I just have a massive headache. Like, it wasn't until like we ended up going back to the kitchen that it kind of like went away. But I was like, yo, what the fuck? So going back to the whole, we waited till 8:00 to start doing everything again. We ended up going back up there. And so we, two people sat on the bed, two people sat by the stairs, and I sat right there where I got the headache. And mind you, like behind me, I had like a doorway behind me to the other room. And so we ended up starting everything. And I didn't get the headache anymore. So I was just like, all right. And when we were setting up and everything, I don't know what it was, but a car pulled in, and everybody was like freaking out.
Dude, it's the scariest fucking thing ever.
It was like the sketchiest fucking thing ever. Like a car just pulls in. Mind you, nobody is supposed to be there.
It's in the middle of nowhere, dude.
Yeah. So like, I was like, maybe, possibly. You know, somebody took the wrong turn because, like, before you get to the house, it's a split, right? It's going to the house and then go. I guess it continues up. I don't know, but it's just like it's kind of weird because it clearly fucking says at the split Hinsdale House. So it was just like, I mean, like, it was dark, but I'm fairly sure these motherfuckers had their lights on to see that sign. But whatever the point is, it was kind of weird, right?
So there was an actual car.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, actual or not, I mean, we don't know. You know.
You could hear it, and the thing is, it's like, how the fuck do you accidentally go through that road? The fear was that, like, bro, like, you're in the middle of nowhere. You don't know who the fuck that is.
And we have no signal. We had no signal.
Have no
so,
signal.
like, there's, like, no, like, calling someone in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, there's no signal in the house. Like, the second you step outside the house, you get signal. But obviously, we weren't going to go outside while there's some random-ass car there.
Yeah, dude. It was just super sketch. But
So, that, after that whole situation happened, the car ended up leaving. And then we started the Estes method.
yeah.
It lasted about, what, 15?
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Yeah. We had to stop because, again, 2 people in our group started feeling very uncomfortable.
I started feeling like coldness in certain spots or touches. And it just felt like, I guess you could say, like, very, very uncomfortable. Chills.
It was very, very heavy.
At one point we had to check one of them to see if they had gotten scratched or anything on their back, because they were claiming that they felt pressure on their back. And then the other person was she claimed that her arm started hurting, so we had to check if she had gotten scratched on her arm. But it's I just believe that maybe, like, the tour guide or the lady that let us in, I was talking to Papo about this. Like, there's a possibility that she's just used to it.
Yeah.
Or if, like, and you gotta think she grew up around the area.
Yeah.
And she claimed that she has that, like, similar encounters. So my thing is, like maybe it's her land. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I probably understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
Because you even say that I'm weird.
Yeah.
With it, like, I don't actually react to it.
Yeah.
Right. So I probably understand where she's coming from. Like, she's seen it so many fucking times. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same shit all over again.
But I feel like that.
But I feel like for someone that, because, like, I can tell the difference when it's, like, serious, right? And I'll tell you, yeah, this is kind of getting, out of hand and shit. I'm not gonna downplay it, especially knowing that people are coming here to experience shit. Like, I'm not gonna downplay it, I'll be like, yeah, I've had these encounters, I've seen this, I've heard this, I'll tell you, my personal experiences. Like, I feel like in that aspect, I feel like she kind of failed to tell us some of these things. But, it all goes down to, like, she's probably really used to this.
Yeah.
And she probably just has no reaction to it anymore.
She was cool, and she showed us pictures of other people, like, getting the same entity in both, like, 2 different perspectives and shit. She was cool.
Yeah, she was cool.
But I think it's...
she kind of downplayed it a little bit.
Yeah, because I was like, there's just no way this is not something evil. The thing is, like, when we tried to finish the Estes, it wasn't letting us go.
Like, it wanted us to keep talking.
It said, no,
and, like,
I'm not going to hurt you. And I was like, no.
Don't get
you
us
don't
wrong.
tell
like,
us what to
Mando
do.
and I wanted to keep going, but we weren't going to keep going if, people in our group were getting uncomfortable, you know? Like, it'd have been fucked up if we were like, nah, fuck you, let's keep going, Like, it'd have been fucked
that
up.
makes sense.
But
Yeah.
it was like, it called me stupid a couple times. Called me handsome. That was weird. It
Asked who I was.
was like, it wanted us to leave one of the people in our group.
Yeah, and the person...
It was the youngest one in our group.
The person that was doing the Estes later on said that it possibly had said my name.
Or another person in our group's name. but couldn't distinguish
Yeah.
which name it said.
Yeah, they said,
'Cause-
I think it said Mando, but I wasn't trying to say anything because I didn't want to make the situation worse. Mind you, they didn't know what they had said. So like when we cut it, we were like, let's relax for right now, and like they could tell that the other people were like kind of really uncomfortable, and she was like,
she was confused of the
she
whole
was confused,
situation.
and she was just like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And she could tell.
And she knew something was up, but she was like, what's going on? Like, you tell me right now and this and that. And we were like, hold on, relax, calm down. Like, let's get out of the room. Let's go take a break. Let's go to the living room, right? Because that was the calmest place in the whole house, right? And, you know, we were playing there earlier. So it's like the HQ, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So she was just confused the whole time until we got down there. And then we explained it to her. She was still kind of confused, but she understood why we stopped, right? And she kind of like agreed on stopping, especially after we started checking for the scratch marks and everything. So then we just sat there. And then we had a long conversation about how they didn't want to keep going, the two people in our group. And like the other people in the group wanted to keep going, but we were like, we can't, like it's kind of messed up to try and make them do it again. And we were like, we could go do it up there by ourselves, and you know, you could sit here. But they were like, no, like we can't separate from each other. You know, it's kind of uncool, and this and that. So we just, you know, eventually just decided to end up leaving. You know, it got way too intense, way too quick for them.
No, how did you guys get into this stuff? How did you go, like, because me personally, I wouldn't really do it for fun. I wouldn't really, but.
So shout out to my sister-in-law, because she kind of motivated me to do it. So I always liked watching paranormal things growing up. And we were watching like a scary movie. I think it was like The Devil Made Me Do It or some shit like that. I don't even remember. We were watching something scary. Mm-hmm. And we eventually, I was like, she was like, the Conjuring house is supposedly like available to like tour and shit. I was like, there's no fucking way. So we looked it up, and this was like at 2 in the fucking morning. We looked it up, and then eventually like I found it, and we just fucking took the tour. And it was like, from there on, we were like hooked. We were hooked. So,
yeah, mind you, again, like I said earlier, like Mando and I have experienced a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, it was all on accident
we've
too.
Experienced shit here in home, other country, you know, fucking just experiences all over the place. And these are, again, it's not that we were looking for them or anything. It's just by chance we were there, we saw it. It happened to us, you know. And like, to me, I've always thought of it as interesting. Like, I don't like Mando says, like, I don't really react. So he's like, you're fucking weird, because like any normal person would be like fucking shitting their pants, and I'm just over here like looking, just, you know, just taking my sweet ass time and everything, you know, looking at shit. But it's like, it's because of so many fucking experiences that I've had that it's just like, Like, I've had the doors open on me. I've had like I've seen shadows fucking peeking out around corners and shit.
Oh, talking about that shit. Like we've seen all that type of stuff. And locally, we went to this one spot where he claims that he saw a shadow peeking. And we had just gotten the equipment. So this was before we went to Waverly, and we went to go try it out there. And when we were trying the equipment, I was recording a video. And as I'm going around, you could see a fucking shadow. I didn't see it, but we were doing Estes. And as I'm like panning around the area, like you could see the shadow just peeking over one of the pillars. And I pass again, and there's another shadow peeking on the, like, right next to that pillar too. And I was just like, holy fuck, dude. So I was like, I believe in it. I'm not really open about it because like a lot of people talk shit about it. And, but like I've seen it. So that's why I
Like,
guess we might.
We believe that it does exist. Whether it be good or bad is a different story.
Yeah.
You know, like we're not claiming that it's fucking good. No, you're not. It probably
It
most
probably is not
likely
really.
is not fucking good at
Yeah.
all.
I
You know,
mean-
whether the spirit is nice and everything, like it's most likely probably not
Yeah,
anything
like
good.
biblically, when you
Yeah.
die, you're asleep till the coming. You know.
Yeah, like like you say, I believe that it might be real, honestly, because you know, like there's God and then there's the devil, right?
Yeah. Like if
And they got their own like spirits and stuff. But I believe, like me personally, I wouldn't do that now because I'm scared. But I believe, you know, in God, and like the Bible says in Matthew chapter 4 verse 7 says, "Do not test your God." You know what I mean? Like I'm not. Like the Bible says in the same chapter, like, you know, God would send his angels and protect you and everything. But that doesn't mean go and like
Yeah.
jump into like, I'm gonna see, because that's basically it's in that chapter, like it's talking about when the devil was trying to get Jesus to jump off a cliff.
yeah,
He was just do it because the Bible says that he will send his angels, but then Jesus says, "Do not test your Lord," right? Because you know, why would you do that? Like,
yeah,
you know, I mean, something bad might happen to you because you're like, oh, let's see if God is real and He's gonna protect me.
Yeah.
But then again, everyone's different. Everyone has different,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I don't do it. I don't do it to test God. No, it's not that. It's just pure curiosity. It's an interest. It's
Well, I
like
mean,
it's like a hobby.
yeah,
you know what I
people
mean.
have
Like
different-
it's like a hobby
different-
to me. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I'm going out there to like, you know, get evidence to see if God is real. No, I don't do it for that reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something that we've experienced so many times that it just became interesting.
Yeah.
You know, eventually, it just became interesting.
Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah, because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100% know.
I mean, yeah. Like,
Yeah, and it's just interesting to me. I just like hearing it. I want to see, like, I'm gonna tell you something right now, right? That I'm gonna see if I can enhance the audio on that video, and I'm telling you, bro, when I heard that shit, bro, it gave me goosebumps. It was just like, holy fuck, because like if you,
Yeah, Mando didn't even catch it.
yeah,
I was listening to it, and then I had like the phone up against my ear, and I was like, and I heard it. I was like, yo, what the fuck was that?
and I was
was
like,
like-
what? And he was like, look, listen to it, and I heard it, and I was like, dude, that's a Native American chant, and he's like, there's no way, and I was like, bro, that's a Native American chant, and I'm hearing it, and like you could even hear like steps, dude, to it, and then I was like, holy fuck. And so like what I did was like I looked it up on YouTube, right? And then it's exactly the same, dude. Exactly the same. And I was just like, holy fuck, dude. So that was like one of the clearest, like,
That's the only
EVPs.
time we've actually caught like anything without any interference with somebody being there.
yeah. No,
You know?
no, we had one at Waverly at the body shoot.
Yeah, but to me that like I get it, right? But I don't know.
You
Like,
don't think?
I
'cause-
know what you're talking about. I don't know.
So at the body shoot, what we heard was we would hear whistling, like at the end of the body shoot. He said he couldn't hear it, but everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, there's whistling down there."
Yeah, because like my bad, my keys
Yeah.
just fell.
Oh, I was like, "There's whistling down there,"
Like-
and I'm telling you that's what it is.
So I'm gonna tell you how, from my perspective, this is what happened. Right, we were going down this body shoot thing, right, and the whole purpose was we were gonna do an Estes method. The thing is pitch black. There's no light there, right? So we're just like in the middle of this long ass fucking shoot, right? And as we're setting up, everybody's like, "Do y'all hear that? I hear a whistle. I hear that." And then they started like flashing their lights down at the bottom of the chute. And they're like, "Yo, I see something and this and that, da da da." And then everybody just started freaking the fuck out, right? And I was like, "Yo," in my head, I was like, "Yo, bro, why are we freaking out? Isn't this the purpose of the whole situation, right?"
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, no, there's whistling. We got to get out of here and this and that. Da, 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 da. So everybody just started getting their shit and then started like speed walking the fuck out of there. And I'm over here. I haven't even gotten up. I'm still fucking sitting down while everybody started walking away. And so I'm just like, bro, I can't hear shit. So I kind of like stayed back to see if I could hear anything. Bro, I couldn't hear anything.
So he claims he didn't hear shit, of course. Like, it's always like this with this man. But, like, you could, like, we could. So the thing is like, is anybody down there? And we would hear whistling. And I'm like, bro, there's whistling. 100% whistling. And what I've noticed is, like, if you hear whistling, 9 times out of 10, if you're recording, you're going to catch something. So I was recording because I heard the whistling. And hopefully this is the right video because I'm not even sure. Let's see. So, let's see.
Is there someone down?
Right here.
Is there someone down at the end of the body chute there?
Someone just whistled.
Did you hear it?
And there was.
And then they're saying somebody just whistled. You probably can't hear it.
Who just whistled? And there was.
Is there someone down at the end of the body chute there?
Someone just whistled. Who just whistled? And there was.
Like, it's hard to hear probably. But I have to fucking enhance the audio. But like if you hear it in person on our phone, it'll say not me. That's what I heard, not me. And then you could hear, like, at the end of the video, you could hear whistling when you could just hear the whistling right now. So like I correlated, and that whistle is what we heard on the fucking audio as not me. So it's I don't know. Sometimes I doubt, like he said. Sometimes I'm like, it might have been, but it's like it was only us. Yeah. And as you can hear the not me, you hear the chick saying, you can hear a whistle. You just asked that, and you could hear the whistle. You know what I'm saying?
There's something like this is from my perspective. Like I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. You know, like it's like some people say, like it ain't meant for everyone to see or hear in the moment.
It's only for certain.
It's
people.
only for certain people. So, like in the moment, I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything. I didn't freak out. I feel like had we stayed there a little bit longer and not have reacted the way we reacted, we probably would have gotten something more solid.
Yeah.
You know, but we didn't even eventually go back there anymore. You know.
Now, were you guys supposed to be there like just one night or
Yeah, just one night. Just one night. And all these spots is just one night.
I mean,
you could stay.
Hours. You could stay there there's the Hinsdale House. You could stay there apparently for the whole weekend. Yeah, but obviously, the longer you stay, the more money you have to,
cough up.
Yeah, cough up.
Yeah,
and the one night was already kind of expensive.
Who stays with that money? Though? Who gets that money? You think the family members or
the money goes back to I think it goes towards the house, and then it goes also, I guess, towards whoever owns the house now.
And the employees.
I mean, yeah.
And like the people that work for the house.
But it was a good spot. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go back.
To the same place?
Yeah.
Now, what I was going to ask you is, would you guys go to like the different states and try their...
Yeah. I want to go try out some shit in West Virginia. And try out a spot in North Carolina. And I also want to go to a spot in Texas.
Yeah. And like these other places that we went to, like the Waverly and Bobby Mackey's is in Kentucky. And fucking Hinsdale's in fucking
New York State.
Conjuring was in Rhode Island.
Yeah. So
we've been to different states to do this stuff. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the drives are fucking long as fuck, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, I always get like stickers from these spots, and I just put them in my truck as like a memory. Cool. Yeah. So like, I got a sticker for every place I've been at. So
I do the same thing with my cooler though.
yeah, yeah, I do it like on the. I got tint on the visor, basically part of the windshield, and that's where I put all my stickers.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, I definitely want to go there again.
Yeah. With people that won't back out. Because it would be nice to... Because I was really looking forward for 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
I won't lie.
Why at 3 o'clock though?
Because they say at 3 o'clock is the witching hour.
it's where the veil thins between living and the spirit world.
Yeah. It's where the most activity will happen.
Yeah,
Supposedly.
allegedly.
So, seeing as how active it got
Before
at
midnight.
Not at 8, I could only imagine how active it would have been had we stayed there till 3.
Yeah.
How much was that though? You pay per person or?
No, it's per group of 6.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. It was almost 400.
But in a
Oh,
group
it's
of
not
6, I mean,
Yeah, and you stay the whole night.
it doesn't really hurt the pocket.
Do they have like beds and stuff or?
Yeah.
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 But remember that the majority of the time is you're not going to be really sleeping. You're going to be like, investigating, doing your, experiments and shit, seeing what you can get and what you can't get,
Yeah.
And like you have the master bedroom, you have 2 other bedrooms, you have the living room, you have the kitchen, you have the basement. Then there's the outside part, because a lot of people said that they were getting a lot of activity by the offering tree. Like there's like a lot you could do. So, you have all that night, the whole night to do all that.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that say like there's a lot of Native American spirits.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like the most interesting part for me. It's like I want to see what it's all about, and I didn't really get to see what it's about. But that, like I said, that chant is probably going to be like one of the things that are like forever going to stick with me, because that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, because that one is truly, to me, in my opinion, is like the first piece of evidence without any like interference of anyone.
Yeah.
And we know, and I get that people out there probably think, oh no, there's probably somebody in the house,
Yeah.
Like, we know the truth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we know absolutely no one was in the house.
Yeah.
None of us, no one from the tour, thing. Like, no one was in the house.
I think what I find crazy is that there's flies and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's winter, dude. It's cold
winter.
as
It's
shit.
cold. It was snowing when we got there.
Yeah.
It was snowing. So like, it's cold. Like, it's fucking freezing. And I kind of fucked up because I only took like a fucking like thick sweater. And bro, it was fucking freezing. I was shivering. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I took my Conjuring hoodie, dude. And that was it.
Like, I didn't because it hasn't been cold where we're at, So I was like, we probably don't need a jacket or anything. I'll just take the sweater. We'll be fine. When we get there, bro, it was fucking snowing. I was like, motherfucker. And mind you, the heating in the house isn't that great. Like, the living room, and that was why we like kind of kept going back there, was because the living room had like the main central heating thing, and then fucking it had like a small little heater on the side. So that was like the warmest place in the house. And like the other rooms were just cold. They were bearable, with the sweater and everything, but like, it was still cold.
You think a lot of people go there often? Like every weekend, you think?
Maybe not maybe every other day or some shit. But because like the last entry that we saw was November 8th, 7th. Maybe even after that. And I'm not even sure. I think 11th maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but it was in November. And so today is November 23rd. And we went November 21st. So, yeah. There's a lot of people that go. It's interesting shit. But if you do go to the Hinsdale House, I did write something in there and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you'll know it was us.
Yeah. So there's that.
It was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
You know, again, like I'm not saying like whatever we were talking to was good or bad. I'm just saying, you know, the experience itself was cool. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're into that stuff, maybe you want to try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like again, and like you're saying, like it's not for everybody, but I feel like just going once, it's a good experience. Not necessarily a good experience, but like it's an experience you should have in your life, you know, because
Yeah.
not a lot of people go through things like that,
Yeah.
and that's why you have a lot of people that are like skeptics and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was an eye opener for one of the people that went.
Yeah, because she kind of like, you know,
Would make jokes about
make
it.
jokes, and like we were gonna take her to the Conjuring house, right? But and this is what made the decision of her not going. All right, was because she had the fucking dumbass idea to go and say, "Oh, I want to get possessed." I was like, "Oh
Fucking
my
stupid,
god,
bro.
you're
not
fucking
going."
dumbass! Why would you say that?"
Yeah.
And so we were like, yo, you can't play with that shit. Like, don't say shit like that. You know, you don't know if it could happen. Like, you know,
That's opening yourself up.
yeah. So then we were like, look, we had a serious talk with her and everything. And so we told her, look, you can come with us this time. You know, you can experience things with us. But this was honestly like, I feel like we kind of
Threw her to the wolves.
threw her to the very deep end of any fucking pool you could ever fucking find. Right. And she came out very different. To put it in a light sense. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna ever do this again. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was in the moment, I was worried for her. Because again, she was the youngest one in our group. And obviously in the video, like it says, you know, leave the girl. And I want the girl. Like, I want to play with the girl. So when I heard that, I was like, immediately fucking looked at her, and I was like looking at her face, and her face had completely fucking changed. Like what the fuck, you know? And so that's when like the whole thing got crazy, and then we ended the session, right? The Estes method thing. And yeah, and obviously ended up fucking leaving. So she was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll do it. I got the curiosity out, basically, is what she was saying.
Now, is there more houses around that place, or is it just?
I think like the nearest house was like 3 minutes away, 3 to 5 minutes away. But there's houses around there. It's the like the very rural part of New York. Like the countryside of New York, I guess you could say.
All I can tell you is that when you go outside, it's silent.
Yeah, very silent.
You don't hear. You know what? I just realized that you don't even hear planes.
Yeah, it's
just silent.
It was funny because we had this Polaroid camera, right, and we had ran out of film. Amanda was like, "Yo, you think you could go get more film, right?" So I went. And one person from our group went with me, right? And as we were walking out the house, she was talking to me, right? And I'm just listening to her, and then I hear something. I immediately was like, shh. Like to the point where I almost say, shut the fuck up, right? Because I heard something, right? I heard rustling. And she was like, what? What's going on? I was like, you don't hear that? You didn't hear that? She was like, what? And mind you, like, again, I said, like, there's bobcats, there's bears, there's animals out there, right? So I was like, you know, it could have been anything. Like, I didn't know. I just heard the rustling, right? And so then she was like, what do you see? What do you see? I was like, I can't see anything. I just heard something right now. I was like, hold on, shh. And then I heard it again, and then I pointed the flashlight right at it, right? And then she heard it too. And so we started flashing the light, and all we see are a pair of eyes, dude. And I can only assume that it was a deer. I couldn't see what it was. All I saw was a pair of eyes. And so we just went back inside because, you know, I'm not gonna take the risk of getting fucking mauled by a fucking bear or bobcat. So I was like, was like, hold on, let's wait for a minute, and you know, we'll go get the film, right? Waited a couple minutes, went back outside with Mando this time, and I heard it again. It moved like closer to the road from the house, but you know, I couldn't see it anymore. So we did end up getting the film and everything, but you know, it's a cool place to go to. You just have to be very cautious of your surrounding. You know, anything could pop up.
Yeah.
I just can't believe there's people that do this for fun.
Yeah.
Again, like for me, it's a.
I feel like I know
it's
you
a
guys.
hobby.
I known you guys for so long. I can say, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really know you guys were into this kind of stuff.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The whole paranormal thing.
I feel like this house, even though like, you know, I feel like this would be like a good place for you to go with us next time. You know,
We'll
I feel like
see.
it'd be a cool experience.
Now, since you guys been to like, what was it, like 4 different places?
Mhm.
Which one was the best?
This one.
It's the other one you guys. Now, the first place you guys went to, did you guys feel anything?
We heard footsteps while the tour guide was talking to us.
In the
Conjuring House?
Yeah. So the whole of the house, you don't really feel anything, but we did. Yeah, like Mando said, like we did hear footsteps while the tour was going on, right? And the tour guide even said, "And hold on, like let's be quiet for a second." And we heard it again, right? But when you go to the basement, there's like a portion in the basement, right?
That's darker
It's
than dark.
Dark. I'm talking about dark as fuck. And like to the point where you can't even see your hand in front of you. And yeah, that portion of the basement, it just feels heavy. But it's not like how we felt it in Hinsdale. At least I didn't feel it the same way.
Yeah, like
It was heavy, but bearable.
Yeah,
This one was heavy, but it was like you start to think about it.
Hinsdale, I didn't feel anything when I went in. Nothing. Like I was like, oh, this is gonna be sweet, man. This gonna be sweet. Fuck no. As soon as I started seeing shadows in the mirror, I was like, nah, this is gonna be a problem.
I think what happened was, I think it was like, you know, it saw us playing games and shit in the house, like we weren't fucking
Acknowledging
it. And so it was like, you know, all right, let's ramp it up, and type of shit. You know what I mean? So then we went back up there, and then everything happened. But you know, out of all the places that we've been to, Hinsdale has been like the most active.
Yeah, I'd go to Waverly Hills again.
But I
liked
feel like with
Waverly.
Waverly, we would I would want to go back to Waverly, but like alone.
Fuck that.
Not me by myself, but like us, like as a group,
Yeah.
alone.
Fuck that.
You
I'm
know?
sorry.
Because I feel like
Because
then you would know that there's like no interference from anyone else.
look, there
That
was
was my
points
thing.
in time where there was no interference. No, the thing is that he wants it to be like alone, so there's no fucking excuse.
Yeah.
But what we got, I feel like we got really good stuff, even though there was people. Like I got orbs. I got Estes methods that were describing certain things. I got orbs multiple times. People get touched. Shit like that. So it's a good spot if you want to go to it for like the first time. But it was also my favorite. I liked it.
I like the view. I like the view because we ended up going to the roof. It was really cool. It was huge. When we looked down, I didn't think it was that fucking high up, dude. Because we looked at the building, it looked tall and shit. But like when you're up there, that shit's really fucking tall. Like that shit was nice. And we went up there when the fucking sun started to rise. So we were watching the sunrise a little bit. But then they were like, all right, we got to go, this and that. I was like, all right.
You said that was a hospital, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a hospital like that in Maryland.
It's a insane asylum, right?
There's an insane asylum, but it's like really hard to get in there.
I don't even
really
think you're allowed to
sketch.
get
You're
in
not.
there. Yeah, you're not allowed to get in there. You
You're
have to
not.
like break in there.
Yeah.
Like if they
It's-
catch you, you're getting arrested for trespassing.
There's one in Laurel, Maryland. It's called Forest Haven. It closed in like '03, I think.
There's another one too that I heard because I saw videos. Where was it? I think it was Bowie, Maryland. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just know
know.
it's somewhere in Maryland though.
Yeah, I know where you're talking about. It's also a place where you can get like arrested for trespassing.
Yeah. Because those are.
Yeah. Fortunately, we don't have nothing. Well, there's nothing good in Maryland. There's another spot in Virginia, but it's like the
You know what I've seen though, like connections with all these places, is that they're in like really like rural areas or like really like alone areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah
Like the Conjuring house, the nearest house was like a couple minutes away.
yeah
This Hinsdale house, a few minutes away. The nearest house, the Waverly place, it was like all by itself. There was like nothing around really. Bobby Mackey's was the only one that was like on the main street, like literally right
Yeah, it
off
was-
the main street.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of houses that are like that, because again, when we were younger, we went to our aunt had this house, and bro, like it was like every fucking night, it was roof fucking teen that you were gonna hear fucking someone knocking at the door,
Yeah, fuck that place.
footsteps, fucking voices. She had like this swing set in the backyard. No fucking wind, no nothing, like nothing to move the damn fucking swing, and that bitch would just be rocking back and forth, swinging.
Yeah.
And you would see it, and then it would stop, and then go again. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, fuck that place, dude. There's this one fucking there's. I guess I'm gonna tell that story later on another episode, but it was fucking a fucking shitty place. Like this motherfucker was like, dude, I hear walking out there, this, that, and the third, and they knocked on the door. We opened it, nobody was there, and then this motherfucker goes. And then, like, it finishes the knock on the other side.
Like the first fucking night, right? We slept in our cousin's room, and we locked that bitch. We locked the door, right? And we wake up the next day, and that bitch was wide fucking open.
Yeah.
Wide fucking open, dude.
I feel like, when you get a house or apartment, one of my cousins used to live at this place. It was an apartment. And he said that when they first moved in, they would hear steps. They would hear, of course, there's people up and at the bottom, but they would also see shadows on like kids and stuff. Sometimes it would smell weird. Now, like I said before, I believe in God, and like I feel like wherever you go, and whenever I go, like even if I go out for work, sometimes we have to stay at hotels and stuff. I like to just pray before, because you really don't know what happened in that house, that hotel room before you got there. And like just like the places you guys visited, there's spirits everywhere, you know what I mean? And if you just don't do anything, I guess, before you get to the place, especially when you get a new house, because a lot of people don't believe in God. A lot of people just do witchcraft and stuff, and all of that can stay in place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, like you don't know what they've done.
Yeah.
Like supposedly that house that my aunt had was a satanic church.
Oh, you see stuff like that.
Yeah. So that was the whole reason why there was so
Yeah.
much activity in that
It was in,
fucking
like-
house.
It was in Martinez. It was like in the mountain area.
Yeah. And bro, I'm telling you, that shit was roof fucking teen.
Bruh, the footsteps was like dun,
You would hear the
Done.
fucking, you would see the
Done.
lights turn on,
dun,
hear the fucking
Sinks.
faucets
turn on
turn
everything.
on, everything, dude. It was just like, bro.
It was the
And, like,
worst.
So like when we fucking lived through all that and shit, like I guess you could say we've grown a tolerance to it. And I guess I don't know if I've experienced more than Mando here, but I guess I've grown a tolerance to the point where it's just like I'm not gonna react. It's just like I've had the doors fucking get banged at my place. Like the most recent one was, and I told him no one was in my house. I was alone, right? I was in the dark watching videos on my phone, right? And then all of a sudden, it sounds like someone kicked my door, right? I had my door closed, and it sounded like someone kicked my door. I was like, in my head, I was like, yo, who the fuck just kicked my door, right? And then I'm over here thinking that it's my little sister or some shit, right? So I get up, right, and I open the door. I see her room, and the door's open and everything, lights are off. And I'm like, oh shit, it's the weekday. She's not here. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And then I'm like, hold up, everyone else is at work. I'm home alone. I was like, man, this motherfucker, whatever this shit was, made me get up for no fucking. That was my fucking reaction. It made me get up when I was comfortable in bed. I was upset about that. It wasn't even the fact that my door got kicked. It was just the fact that I had to get up. Like, so like my reaction when Mando, that's why I say like I don't know if Mando's tolerance is higher or less than mine, but like, he's like, you're weird.
I feel like you just don't react to a lot of things though.
I guess.
I feel like you just like that in general though.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, dude. But it's just like it was.
You just like that guy. Have you seen the meme like the chill guy?
Nah.
Like a little dog. That's you. You just like, I'm just a chill dude. Like I don't care what's going on around me.
Yeah, like
It could be fucking chaos all around me. I'm just sitting there like, bro, y'all.
Be like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, like, what do y'all want me to do? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
yo, this shit was intense.
But I don't know. I feel like you're right. Like a lot of the times when you move into a new place, you don't know what the people that were there before did or used to. Even if you built a new house, you don't know what had happened in that location, land. You know what I mean? Now, what I do believe in, like I said, in that happened in that apartment where my cousin lives. You know, they went and prayed. The pastor showed up and they're praying and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Because you bring God into your place. Like, but yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Some people just get used to it. They just don't react to it, and I feel like some type of adrenaline or something that you feel. Is that something?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. Like once it starts to get like, mind you, again, like this is the first time that we've actually gone out and actually gotten a lot at once.
And basically a private investigation.
And private investigation. And so, yeah, like you get some sort of adrenaline, whether that be like a good adrenaline or a bad one, but you get something. You know
he was like while you were recording the Estes, you were like smiling and just nodding your head.
This motherfucker was just like recording the whole thing, right? And when they started to say, "Oh, leave the girl" and all this, he was just nodding his head, smiling, and I was like, "Yo, this motherfucker is clearly not listening to what's happening right now."
And like I was listening, but it was just like I had that adrenaline dump. And it was just like, holy fuck.
And I told him afterwards, and he was like, was I really? I was like, yeah. I was like, you were smiling and just like nodding your head yes in approval that everything was happening. And I was just like in my head, like in the video, you can see my face. Like I have a straight face the whole time, and I'm just looking at this motherfucker. I'm like, yo, this is not the place or time to be smiling.
Yeah, I was just like, holy shit, this is what happened. But like at the end, I got stern. Like I was like, you're not telling us what to do. We're gonna leave.
Like, yeah.
Period.
And this was like I said, this was around the time where I saw the two people in our group fucking, get worried and were feeling uncomfortable. So then this motherfucker was just over here smiling and fucking nodding in approval. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker.
Yeah, it was just like an adrenaline dump. I was like, holy fuck, this is happening. It's like really happening.
Yeah, like when that shit told me to turn around, bro, instantly fucking, I turned around. I was just
I turned the camera around too.
Yeah,
like,
but like
to face it.
He panned the camera, but because of the gimbal, it just went too slow.
Yeah.
So, like I turned around, I was like, you're in this room, and it said it's watching you, or she's watching you, or something like that. And then I'm assuming someone else said like, or it said at one point it said go in, right? And something else said don't, right? And so I asked the question. I was like, who's in here? Who's in the room behind me, right? And then that's when it said Mary, and I was like, and then I kind of called it out. I was like, Mary. you think is this Mary? And I was like, it can't be Mary. She's still alive, right? And then it told me to be quiet. And so I was I don't even, it's so much happening that I can't even fucking think of what fucking happened right after that. But thing is that, like, it, to me, it's almost like it got upset that I called that out because I knew she was still alive, you know? But by far, this is my favorite trip.
Yeah. So we left our shit in the book. So if any of you motherfuckers go, you're going to see that I wrote in that bitch. So I put East Coast Boys podcast.
Yeah, this motherfucker misspelled boys though.
Yeah, I had to readjust. You'll see it. You'll see. I was just like ready to go though.
Yeah,
I was ready to go.
Yeah, this was like right before we fucking.
Yeah, I was like, should I send it? I was gonna leave a sticker, but
should have done it.
Yeah, it was just no space, dude.
Yeah,
there's no space.
All the walls were covered.
Oh yeah, I saw the video. Like, there's just like a bunch of stuff.
The tour guide was like, yeah, you could write on the you can, like, you know, write your name or whatever on the wall, but like only where it's been written on. Like, don't write anywhere else that hasn't been written on. And bro, like, it was just covered everywhere. Yeah. It was covered. Like, there was like no space anywhere to write anything. Even if we wanted to, we weren't gonna do it. I wanted to, but then this guy was like, "Nah, don't do it."
Yeah, don't. Like, all right. Yeah, I wasn't really willing to.
He was like, "You're probably gonna leave some type of connection if you do that."
Yeah,
I was like,
because you're putting energy into it.
Yeah.
So it's like I put it in the book, but I didn't put it directly on the structure, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you guys want to go over there, fucking send it. It's where it's at, dude.
Yeah, and this is and send it if you've done it before. Don't send it if it's your first time.
Yeah, because you might
anything. Like, if this is your first time, don't go to that house. Do something light. Do something where it's like
a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah.
Because over there, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're in the Hinsdale House, never leave. Like, always be in a pair. At least minimum be in a pair. Don't go by yourself anywhere.
Yeah.
And then not only just for like yourself to feel like a bit safer in a sense, but like also to like confirm if you see something,
yeah,
you have somebody else to like approve and like, yeah, I saw that shit too.
Yeah. And mind you, like, the whole little smoke thing that I saw in the basement, there was someone with me. And I even told them, look, like, do you not see it? Like, and they were looking as I was looking at the same time, but they didn't see it.
Yeah.
And like I said before, like, it all goes down to like, it's probably only meant for me in the moment. You know, it ain't meant for everyone.
Yeah. And a lot of our experiences in the short period of time that we were there, like, correlated with the book.
Yeah.
But
yeah, which was funny because a lot of people were just like, you know, when there's not much activity in the house. There's a lot of activity by the tree, which was crazy because we didn't really hear anything or see anything by the tree.
I saw shadows in the woods and I heard crackling in the woods.
Yeah, but that could have been animals, you know what I mean? And then, but yeah. For us to have left because of the house it's kind of funny that, unfortunate, but it was kind of funny that in the books it was saying that the house wasn't as active as it was outside.
But we will go again. But on that note, we'll talk more about this stuff on another episode. So, I guess we'll see you guys fucking later.
Yeah.
And toodaloo, motherfuckers.